What's good, YouTube? It's another Call of Duty Zombies video, right? This game is very old now, but I figured it'd be a little fun to try doing this level with only the Olympia. Now, I know the challenge itself is going to be difficult, and had I had a little bit more practice, maybe I could have made significantly higher than 20, because arguably the hardest part of this run, especially with the shotgun, is literally just getting set up. Beyond that, it's pretty repetitive and it's pretty easy to an extent, but I played this late at night and got cocky towards one of the ending part of this, and I think that's what did me in. But I think in the future, I'll be able to get higher rounds on this, and I'll probably post it. But I chose this map uniquely for that there is this mechanic that most people don't know about in these older Black Ops games, right? I don't know if it still works or they changed the code, but the Olympia and all other weapons in this game are registered as a different weapon when pack-a-punched. So, theoretically, any and all weapons in any Black Ops game, if you have the upgraded version, you can have the unupgraded version at the same time. Now, how they prevent this is that they register that you have the unupgraded one when you have the upgraded one. So if you pack a punch a gun, the game registers that you have both assigned to the same weapon. And so you can't typically buy the same gun twice if you're already holding it. But when you still have the gun in the pack-a-punch machine, the game recognizes you do no longer have that weapon at all. So you can go buy it off the wall again, come back to the pack-a-punch machine, if fast enough, and grab your upgraded version. This will override and allow you to have both variations of the gun. This is important because it makes it significantly easier when running only that weapon to make high rounds with, because of ammo capacity. But that happened to be why I'm starting off with this map in particular, to do Olympia only and M14 only, which I'll upload later. But I think as though, even though it's easiest on this map, there are possibly a couple other maps that pack-a-punch trick would work on. But that's for future videos.
ammo!
As you can see, the struggle here is real earlier on. Once you reach 20, you should have a lot of points, and if I didn't goof up in the early 20s, I would have had enough points to buy perks again if I downed, but I downed early on in the game, and then what ended up getting me is I downed in a bad position, so if I had gone down in an easier position to reach Jug or Quick Revive, I could have been fine. Although, since it had been my third down, I would have had to get Jug instead. But I preface this. I say that to highlight that this is the hardest part. So if you attempt this challenge on your own, I do highly recommend on the rounds where there's still walkers, going for headshots, because you're going to want the points from early game. as you can see, back to having no points ever, we do have some perks by now. But you can see how this could be difficult. The only thing that really sucks about this particular challenge on this map is if you're playing on original, not easy like I am here, they run and they kill really quick if you mess up. So not having Juggernog is bad, because even if you have quick revive, you can go down 2 times back to back with the same number of hits it takes to get a red screen while having Jug. So quick revive is useful, but if you get quick revive first, you run the risk of losing it back to back in the early rounds and not having it late game. So I'd say get Juggernog first. But the problem is then you have to get your points back again, and suddenly it's round 10 or higher, and you still don't have not quick revive, what's it called? Speed Cola, which for this gun, more than I argue quick Speed Cola is needed more for this gun than even some LMGs, because of the fact that like the ammo capacity is so little.
Fetch me their swords.
Frequency makes this more dangerous to not have quick Speed Cola than LMGs at points. And yes, I did throw a grenade there, and this is an Olympia only run, but the rule I have for these runs is that the only weapon you can use to damage the person is the gun that you're doing the challenge with. So if you end up shooting another gun, buying another gun, etc., as long as you don't attack or damage anything with it, there's no problem. And I accidentally throw another grenade later, but again, it doesn't hit anything. So for those saying, "Oh, I'm disqualified," no, I'm not, because I literally didn't hit anything with it. And it's awkward sometimes because I forget whether or not I'm supposed to fire the triggers or not.
Max ammo.
So if you're trying to make past the hardest rounds, really, in a lot of ways, is the 10s. And then, well, the hardest rounds are halfway to 10s, and then from the early 10s to the late 10s. Once you're in the 20s, as long as you don't mess up the way I did later, that I did, you pretty much are safe because you don't have little points. But the problem with the 10s is that you have such little points that you pack punch the Olympia, right? Yes, I have the unpacked punch and the pack punch, but when you pack punch a gun, the wall buy will always register to the pack punch weapon. So even if you have the unpack punch one and you're holding the unpack punch one out, the game will still think you're trying to buy ammo for the pack punch variation. So points being such a struggle with this particular challenge makes it where until you're in the late 20s with like 10 to 20,000 points, just chilling. If you die, you're choosing ammo or perks. And even if you don't die, if you run out of ammo but don't have points to choose to continue fighting, especially in a challenge where you only allow to use that gun, you're kind of screwed.
Fetch me their swords! Insta-kill! souls. Max ammo.
Let me clarify something I said earlier in the video. Any weapon as in any other gun or any grenade. Power-ups like the nuke, I don't consider being against this challenge. So the challenge of this is the only weapon that you can carry permanently on you, or you actively carry, like a gun, grenades, or knives or whatever. You don't use those. But a grenade power-up that like kills the zombies in Olympia, I don't feel as though falls in that category, nor does it take away from the fact that the only weapon I've used to kill zombies has been the Olympia. So, I should have prefaced that at the beginning of the video, but, no, nukes are allowed. If you personally don't consider that they should be, you can do that in your own run, or maybe I'll do my own run not. Something I'm allowed to have. But for those wondering, yes, I'm allowing nukes, or else I would have not posted this run to begin with.
Double points. Max ammo.
But yeah, you guys can see that I am on the towards the end of my run here. Where I went down earlier was a bad spot to go down, and then towards the end here I'll go back down in like the worst possible spot. But if I went down closer to Jug, or I did not go down early on in the game and still had extra quick revives, I do believe I could have made 30, and I'll probably come back and attempt this later to do so. But I do suggest, again, doing headshots to get points in the early game. if that's hard for you, don't go for a high round, but like play headshots only just to get used to landing headshots, and then come back to headshots. It helped me out a little bit to get points early on in the game. But you can see now that's not a problem. But you'll see me die here shortly. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you all in the next one.
Double points. Insta-kill.